Hello guys, welcome to another build order video. Today we're going to be covering Sergeant Johnson. So there's kind of two openings you can play with Johnson really. You can go for a quick tech into Mantises, which is what we're going to show you in this video. But if you need to be more aggressive on a smaller map like Frontier, Mirage or something like that, it can be best to open with leader snipers and choose the bunker leader power. But we'll cover that later. Today we're just going to be looking at the quick tech build for Johnson to go into Mantises and then later go into Colossus. So we're starting on Rift. We need to make sure we get our minis. We don't want to lose the mini bases early on. So we're going to be opening a Jackrabbit. Going to be going digging in. That's going to add health siphoning to our turrets for when we need to defend against a possible push from the opponent. Of course, like always upgrade your first pad. It's going to give you some extra income to come in. This Jackrabbit is going to run off to the right. The first thing we do is collect the supply on the right, just so we can pick up the mini base right next to it. And then we're going to dart off to the power where the rally point is. So we go pick up the mini base and we go straight to the power. Obviously, power is key to getting into Tech 2. You want to Tech 2 as fast as possible before your opponent pushes. So, just a standard generator third and a generator fifth build. Of course, always upgrade your generator. We're slightly behind on this one, but there we go. Always try and keep an eye on your resources just to make sure you upgrade your generators on time, your pads on time. We're just going to put a double supply pad down on the mini bases. So minute 30 in, we've already got our mini bases. Gonna go for an early scout, see what the opponent's up to, and then we can adapt from there. So the second generator does go down on a nice timing there. We already have enough power to upgrade it when it's built as well. And because we're doing a straight quick tech, we're always going to build a turret before we even scout. Now, we're going to take Pelican transport on our second leader point. This is because mechs are extremely slow, and the strategy we're pushing into is to go mechs. So we're going into Mantises, then later into Colossus. So the transport's going to give us the mobility to get around the map. If we get caught out of position, we can use the transport to get back in time. But as mentioned in the intro, on smaller maps you can choose the bunker drop. A bunker drop is really good for defending with snipers. So we scouted a raid camp from the opponent, even if it is just an AI. So we put down a second turret just to be safe. And we're playing an arbiter, so enforcers can do a lot of damage. Even if there is 3 turrets up there, Conduit of Rage could easily destroy a gen quite quickly before you can kill all those enforcers. Now, just building a couple of Marines. We're going to take some power nodes, try and get some map control. Obviously, this will be more difficult if your opponent is opening Tech 1. But luckily, we have the pleasure of playing the AI. We're going to be able to pick up at least 2 nodes early on. And that's just going to help our power income to get into Tech 2 faster. So, Tech 2 ready and queued. 330, not too bad. And we are now seeing a push from the enemy. So we do have enforcers, ghosts, and grunts. So they are being pretty aggressive, but we're well prepared for it. So we just need to back off our starting units because we will lose them. And we're going to put down a third turret because we're seeing a lot of aggression from the opponent. Now, we're into Tech 2 now, so Tech 2 at 4 minutes, and they've committed what looks like quite a lot of power in the early game, so they're going to be quite behind on Tech 2. Going Ghosts and Enforcers, they're spending a lot of power, so we're going to have an advantage here. They can't even push our base because of the 3 turrets we've got up. We already have 2 garages up, and Mantises are going to be rolling out in a second. Going to put an armory down on the main base as well. And of course, if you didn't notice, we did upgrade all of our supply pads as we were researching Tech 2. So here's basically the big push from the opponent, and they're not going to get anywhere. There we go. We got Mech Blast on third point, so any push is going to get halted, but I don't believe we need to use it in this push. We've got Manaces coming out. We got 3 turrets. They're going to have to back off, and now they're in a lot of trouble because we're in Tech 2. They don't have 5 power nodes to help them get Tech 2 faster. They've probably got 2 generators up, but so do we. So we're well ahead in this game. Now, the aim of the game is just to build up the Mantis numbers. Now, you notice we tried taking the Expo on the left there, just because they were being aggressive and pushing in front of our natural Expo position. I immediately cancelled that when they backed off and built straight in front of our base, because it's easy to defend. So it's well worth doing, even if you do lose those few extra seconds there. So leaders coming out, Mantis is rolling out. Got to get Mantis shield as well. Really helpful in engagements. When you lose your shield, you can back off with the ones that have lost a shield, push in with the ones with shields, and you shouldn't really lose too many Mantises doing it that way. You then also have the Johnson Y ability heal to heal your Mantises back up, like this one here that doesn't have a shield yet. And the Expo's about to be up and running. Notice that we are spending every single bit of our supply as well. We practically have 0 supply every time we build a Mantis. So we're going to slap down all supply pads on this Expo. Same with any other leader. If you have a hero unit out, always keep upgrading your leader as much as possible at each tech level. And we have that Jackrabbit from the early game on the cliff hedge there, so we can see that the opponent's exporting. So we want to shut that down straight away. We already have the advantage. We don't want to let them get a base. We definitely don't want them to get a shield on it. So we're just going to push it with what we have. 50 population's enough, definitely. Shut down that base, and that's going to give us a bigger advantage. They're going to try and come and defend. We're just going to drop a Johnson, heal a couple of Mantises up, back that one off, bit of micro. You notice the Enforcer missed his grenade there. And this is what I mentioned earlier, push up with the Mantises that have shields and back off the ones that don't, just so they can regen. And while we're getting aggressive, we're going to be macroing in the background, upgrading our Expo, getting more supply pads, setting our economy in place, shutting the opponent down, and these are the sort of win conditions as well that you need to realise when you're a game. Like, this game's already over. I already know it's over. It's 7 minutes in, but it is going to take another 5 or 6 minutes to actually end the game. So you just have to be careful. You don't want to push in too early. Like, we could push in now and possibly end the game, but it's not a definite win. And if we lose that push, then we're back to square one. They can come back into the game, and we don't want to allow them to do that. So we're just going to be annoying, close the opponent down, shut them down, take their mini bases, stop their Expos, take the power nodes, take map control, and just choke them in on one base until we're in a comfortable position to end the game. So the longer they stay on one base, the further ahead we get. So that was a nice pick there. We took down a mini base with a generator on. Not something you want to do. Not something you often see from your opponents, a generator on a mini base. If you do, you want to hit it straight away because it's super weak. Generator constructed. Okay, we do have enough to go tech 3. And then we're going to roll into Colossus. So the ultimate goal for Johnson is to get an army of Colossus, a couple of Wolverines, and Nightingales with your leader. And that's the ultimate army comp late game for Johnson. And it's really strong. They are expensive, but later on in the game, you get mech overcharge, so they become invincible. They can take out pretty much most armies late game. And on top of that, you can get Stomp. Stomp's really good on the ground against infantry. And then you can get combat salvage as well. So every unit you lose, you're going to be getting them back straight away. And of course, late game, when you get Johnson's ultimate, you can buy as many bases as you want and get as many free gens as you want. Everything's free with his top leader power, 12 o'clock. So when making these videos, I didn't realize how bad the AI actually was, since I've never actually played it. So we got a bit bored in this video. We're just going to make a push with the mantises we've got, because we know we're ahead. And I can just explain to you, like I have done, about the Colossus. So if you didn't know, Mach Blast, if your units are in the radius, they actually buff your own units as well. So they buff your mechs. Which just happened there, and also does damage to the opponent. So that's very useful. So when you are using the Mach Blast, you want to use it on the enemy army, but you want your army nearby as well. And we're just going to waste mech overcharge. Nothing the opponent can do to stop us. Base going to go down. Game's about to be over. At this point we're well ahead. Going to pick up a third base. So just bear in mind, whether it's Johnson or any other leader, play to your own strengths. Don't let your opponent bully you. Don't let your opponent play to their strengths. Which is why in the early game we didn't go bunker. We didn't get our leader out. That has set us back too far on power, especially with the pretty pathetic push that the AI did there. So guys, well, I hope you liked this video for Johnson. In case you didn't notice, we're going through the Halo Wars 2 multiplayer guide that I did release in order. So we're doing all the UNSC leaders, build orders first. So if we haven't done your leader yet, we will get around to it. If we have, check out the other videos. I hope it helps you in matchmaking. And hopefully you can like, subscribe, follow the rest of my videos. And I'll also be linking the Halo Wars 2 multiplayer guide in the description as well. That has all the details, breakdown, strategies for every single leader, all 16 leaders, and we're slowly going through that and adding these videos to that as well. So it's a great resource for new players to get better. Thank you very much, guys.